I'm Linda Kenyon. 2 suspects are under arrest after a stabbing on board a moving train headed to London. 10 people are hospitalized, 9 with life-threatening injuries. This man was on the train.
One guy's holding his stomach and there's blood coming down his stomach, down his leg, and he's just going, help, help, I've been stabbed.
BBC correspondent Barry Caffrey reports the train made an emergency stop about 75 miles north of London.
This was a LNER train which departed Doncaster at 6:25 yesterday evening, Saturday evening, and it was making its way to King's Cross station in London. And as it went through Peterborough station, just north of here in Cambridgeshire, the alarm was raised by passengers on board the train, those passengers saying that there was a stabbing taking place.
There is no known motive for the attack. Today is day 33 of the federal government shutdown. Aaron Merrick with the National Air Traffic Controllers Association says it's taking its toll on air travel. Air traffic controllers are not getting paid, and some of them are calling in sick.
I feel like it's just going to continue to exacerbate itself. If you think of anybody that has a job, how long can you go without a paycheck? The system is already fragile enough, and then you add in the added stressors of this sort of thing, and it's just frustrating, and we just need to end the shutdown.
Staffing shortages have left many air traffic controllers exhausted by 6-day weeks. Others are working second jobs in order to put food on the table during this government shutdown. Former President Obama campaigned for Democratic gubernatorial candidates yesterday in New Jersey and Virginia.
I am worried about how quickly basic Democratic rules and norms have been weakened. I'm worried about how willing Republicans in Congress have been to surrender their role as members of a co-equal branch of government, refusing to buck the president even when they know he's out of line. Even when a lot of them will privately admit that power is being abused in ways that will hurt their constituents and hurt the country.
President Trump will host Syria's president on November 10th at the White House. Ahmed al-Shara will be the first ever Syrian president to visit the White House. The president met with al-Shara in Saudi Arabia in May in what was the first encounter between the two nations' leaders in 25 years. The LA Dodgers beat the Toronto Blue Jays 5-4 last night in Game 7 of the World Series.
Go Dodgers!
Will Smith homered in the 9th inning after Miguel Rojas connected for a tying drive in the 9th. The Dodgers are the first team in a quarter century to win consecutive world titles. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay, things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Now that Halloween is over, what do you do with your costume? CBS's Michael Wallace has the answer.
Sustainable fashion advocate Lexi Silverstein says whatever you do, don't throw it out.
Americans throw away 35 million costumes every single year.
She says that's the equivalent of 83 million plastic water bottles.
63% of them are made up of polyester and plastic, which can take anywhere from 20 to 200 years to decompose.
Instead, she suggests donating your costume to a thrift store. Many of them have Halloween racks. Or trade your costume with a friend or family member, or by using one of several costume trading apps. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Sean Diddy Combs has been transferred to a prison in New Jersey to serve out the remainder of his 4-year prison sentence on prostitution-related charges. He is now incarcerated at the Fort Dix Federal Correctional Institute, about 34 miles east of Philadelphia. Linda Kenyon, CBS News.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Today brings a nice day with a blend of clouds and sunshine and a high of 60, leading to some clouds tonight and a low of 40. Expect more sunshine for the day tomorrow and a breeze developing for the afternoon with a high of 57, then a sunny and rather nice day once again for Tuesday with a high of 59. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist LaTroy Thornton, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Following is an editorial by KDKA. The following is an editorial by KDKA Radio Senior Vice President Market Manager Michael Spacciapoli.
With the lingering government shutdown bringing SNAP food assistance benefits to an end, thousands of people in the Pittsburgh area are nervous about where their next meal will come from. Nearly 13% of residents in Allegheny County rely on SNAP. In Greene and Fayette counties, that number is above 20%. In a recent report, it was revealed that 1 in 4 active military families rely on programs like SNAP, and that was before the shutdown. To make sure no one goes hungry, organizations like the Greater Pittsburgh Food Bank and companies like Giant Eagle are stepping up. The food bank says they've seen a 30% increase in need. In an effort to help, Giant Eagle has announced a $1 million donation to food banks around the area. Until the government gets up and running again, it's up to food banks, nonprofits, and the kindness of everyone to make sure we all have something to eat. Any donation, no matter how small, makes a difference. The food bank says $1 is enough to provide 3 meals. It's up to all of us to make sure no one goes hungry.
This has been an editorial by KDKA Radio Senior Vice President Market Manager Michael Spacciapoli. To view a transcript, go to kdkaradio.com.
Rob Fracks on the voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
There are always heroes that need to be saluted. Never lose sight of the people that are doing the greater good. And I followed this story as it unfolded yesterday here and, of course, the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. 29 people were trapped on Pittsburgh's Monongahela Incline for more than an hour Saturday and ultimately had to be rescued by paramedics via a system of harnesses. 5 people were trapped in one car about 15 feet below the Mount Washington station and 24 on another car that was stopped about 15 feet from the lower station. The cars worked in tandem. When one is at the top station, one is at the bottom. But the bottom line is those paramedics came through incredibly well with flying colors. So let me give them a round of applause. And just another reason why we live in truly one of the most incredible communities anywhere on the planet. You know, these first responders, these people that are out there every day making a difference, especially the Pittsburgh firefighters, the Pittsburgh paramedics, and our incredible Pittsburgh Police Department. You know, you can never take enough time to salute the men and women, well, what they do every day. Do you understand the difference that these people make in our lives? Imagine trapped in one of these inclines, wondering what will happen. And yeah, you are on that very unique slope, right? Looking down or up, wondering what's going to happen. How strong is it? Are these cables secure enough? What will be the next thing? Could the other shoe drop? And lo and behold, like on that horse, they come riding in for the rescue. I love stories of overcoming and achieving, but more importantly, I love promoting people that work in this city. That has been a part of my life for close to 50 years on a regular basis. I mean, 40 years working for KDKA, now Odyssey, of course, but before that, in and out, doing all sorts of things as a young broadcaster, and just seeing how the inner workings of this community works. And, we have had some tough times financially, for sure. We're in the midst of getting ready to elect the next mayor come Tuesday. But through it all, thick and thin, this is still someplace special, a great city. And I could not take a single second of airtime this morning without taking a little time to salute the paramedics and for what they did. And because of their quick action and their professionalism, all is well that ends well. I mean, can you imagine the high fives going around there yesterday? Look, that could have went either way. So whenever you see the paramedics, wherever you see those firefighters in and around the city of neighborhoods and our wonderful Pittsburgh Police Department and the men and women of that force, take time to say thank you, because we just never say it enough, and we should say it every chance we get. 1 month after barreling towards a new record, the federal government shutdown is about to cross an historic inflection point, one bound to have widespread impacts across western Pennsylvania and the entire country. Financial assistance that helps feed 383,800 people in the Pittsburgh region and about 42 million other Americans for the first time is set not to go out on schedule as we speak. The courts have spoken, and now we'll see what the administration does. And the president has been commenting, and coming up tonight, I'll be watching, and I think a lot of people will. Nora O'Donnell will be interviewing the president on 60 Minutes, CBS News, CBS television network. And she's going to ask him point blank about the government shutdown, and I am anticipating the answer. Again, that's tonight on 60 Minutes after you enjoy a Sunday of feasting and football. But know this, somehow, some way, hopefully it will get resolved. But the thing that really frustrates me is that we let it get to this point. We took it to the basically extremes. How many people are on pins and needles waking up maybe hours earlier than normal on a Sunday? How many will be at church services praying for this to get resolved today? We live in the country that most people would do anything to be a part of, still coming to this country today, risking, as I've said many times, their life to be a part of the American dream. But as I have continued to follow so many stories, when I see a president that's actually trying to get things done, it's very confusing to me on why it seems to be more about the American nightmare. Not a single person, no matter who they are, no matter where they live, should ever go through a day without being able to eat. Food is the most important thing in anyone's life. Obviously, you need it to live, but it's that reward, it's that opportunity, as I've said many times, to gather your thoughts and to sit and to enjoy communicating or just some silence and to enjoy every single bite, every morsel. And the great thing about the program that is known as SNAP, a lot of nutritional food that these families, because of what they're dealing with financially, would not be able to enjoy. And obviously the business matrix of the grocery industry, which is my favorite, and how, yes, if this thing prolongs into another month or two, could be absolutely devastating, not just to the lack of cash flow, but the shelf life to so many of those products that people are normally picking up with those benefits, those food stamps. So let's hope the new weeks brings optimism and in the end brings results, and we can get back to living a life that we deserve in this country that we call home, the United States of America. All right, today I want to remind all of you, as I always do, you can listen to us at 100.1 FM, AM 1020 KDKA, or on that Odyssey app. That is AUDACY. That is a free app. But you can also watch us online, our KDK video stream presented by Metropolitan Window Company. Just go to kdkradio.com and click on Watch KDK Radio Livestream. Or now you can just go to our KDK Radio YouTube page to watch everything we are doing in the studio. So let's open the phone lines up. We got a lot to talk about today. 866-391-1020, 866-391-1020. And you can also get a hold of me via NASCO Roofing Instant Access, and that's simple. All you do is click email access to us by going to instant access at kdkradio.com. I'm up, I'm raring to go, and we have a lot to get to today up until 1 o'clock. But it was a big night for the Los Angeles Dodgers and a guy by the name of Will Smith. We'll give you all the details in sports moments away with your Pratt Pack. David Bollerado for Rob Taylor at the anchor desk. And we also have CBS Radio News back with a command performance in just about 15 minutes. Your Pratt Pack, good morning.
Join Rob Pratt every Sunday at 11 a.m. for Black and Gold Sunday, presented by Coons Market, your hometown Pittsburgh grocer. Rob keeps you posted on Pittsburgh sports with 2 hours of exciting talk. That's Black and Gold Sunday, 11 to 1, presented each week by Coons Market.
News Radio, KDKA, Sports.
Sports brought to you by Coons Market with 8 locations to serve you, a Pittsburgh tradition. Yashibu Yamamoto named the Series MVP as he closed out the Blue Jays, but it was Will Smith who did this in the 11th to seal the deal.
Smith hits a high fly ball to deep left field. It's got a chance. It is gone. It's Will Smith in Game 7.
Joe Davis, Fox Sports, on the call. The Panthers will enjoy a bye week, hopefully one that will get them healthy. But yesterday, the big story, it was the defense and the return of Cal Lewis from a short absence from the team. After a shoulder injury, he comes up with 10 tackles. And when they return to action on November 15th, the Panthers, who have won 5 straight, will take on Notre Dame. Penn State took it on the chin to Ohio State yesterday, 38-14. WVU, a winner over Houston, 45-35. Robert Morris beat Stonehill 20-17. And the Pens lost to Winnipeg 5-2. In volleyball today, the Pitt Panthers in action at 1:30 against North Carolina. Steelers take on the team with the best record in the NFL today, the 7-1 Colts, 1 o'clock kickoff at Accushore, and they are a 3.5-point underdog. More sports at 937thefan.com.
The KDKA radio text line is driven by Kenny Ross Auto Group. Find your best deal and Pittsburgh's best warranty at kennyross.com.
House stealing. It's a nightmare that's real. It's the FBI's term for thieves stealing your home's title and draining your equity. Just one fake document filed with a recorder, and scammers can own your home on paper, drain your equity, and do it all without you even knowing. Imagine waking up to a foreclosure or eviction notice. Listen to former title thief Matt Cox.
What people don't realize is the ease in which this crime can happen. I can take the deed to your house and I can transfer that deed into my name. It's a great crime, and it's happening all the time.
So how can you stop the nightmare and protect yourself? Find out if you're already a victim now at HomeTitleLock.com. Use promo code RADIO and get a 30-day free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection, a title scan, and access to a title specialist, a $250 value. Don't wait. Go to HomeTitleLock.com now, promo code RADIO.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
The voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
All right, Steve Rapaski will be in today for Doug, who remains in Sicily. But Doug is going to have a nice little interview that we're going to share with you coming up later today. And that's all going to be happening in the 7 o'clock hour. He's going to be talking to Kathy Jentz, author of Ground Cover Revolution, host of the Garden DC podcast and editor of the Washington Gardener magazine. So Doug will be here via Memorex, but he is enjoying a week and a half still yet in Sicily, so he'll be back with us 2 weeks from today. Coming up in the 8 o'clock hour, it's the Coons Cooking Hour, Frank Dentisi and I. Best of edition of the Tri-State Neuropathy Center's Dr. Sean Ritchie at 9, Accurate Solutions, and we've got a great show lined up on the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday show. Obviously, we're going to look back at the World Series, but John Luckhart, my buddy, longtime college football coach, Cal U, W&J, played at Purdue, a center during the era of the great Bob Griese, who would go on to lead the Dolphins to that undefeated record in 1972. Coach will drop by, talk a little football. The Dukes are off this weekend. They have Long Island University of Brooklyn next weekend, but Jerry Schmidt will be here today at 11:30. And then Ted Arnault is enjoying the day off, but Mike Leon of Leon Billiards and More hits the first Sunday of the month, so he will zoom in and pick his weekly winners against the spread. Ted's picks are already in. It is week 9 in the National Football League, and we always go by betrivers.net, Rivers Casino. So we got a busy day. We're here until 1. Lots to do. Merry hours within 15 minutes. First Alert Forecast, KDK Television, and David Ballarado just a little over 40 minutes from now with that news at 6, and CBS Radio News back in just about 15 minutes with the latest. Okay, let's go to Joanne, Point Breeze. She starts off the day.
Hi, Rob. I do want to tell you I started shopping at Coons quite a while ago when my sister was still living. I like it because the deli and the prepared foods it's like the old time deli where you could go. I mean, I really like their all their stuff is good, and their meat looks fresh and good. So
we appreciate that. Thank you, Joanne.
Yeah. Okay. To get back to what's going on with these spineless wimps, that to this day, and I'm talking about the people in the Senate and wherever that won't come to the table. They have not gotten a insurance bill. They had plenty of time since Obama, and they were going back and forth then to get a decent insurance bill. People, you better watch who you vote for, because if you look back, these people does not have a positive mind process. It's about their paycheck. None of them say, I'm not going to take my paycheck this time. I'm telling you, they still don't have an insurance bill that they're fighting over. These people in the Senate, and they keep blaming someone else. If you look back and you keep some kind of thought about what's going on, this has been going on ever since this, even a little bit before this president got in, that they don't have a positive mind process. Remember, they still don't have a positive insurance bill after all this time, going back to President Obama, and then they're blaming everybody else for what's going on. I'll say it again. God bless America, and have a good week, and let's go Steelers.
All right. Thank you very much, Joanne. Appreciate the call. Let's get to Kenny in Lower Borough and then Ted up on Mount Washington. Folks, get in here. We only have an hour of open talk. Make it count. 866-391-1020. Go ahead, Ken. How are you?
Hey, pretty good. Hey, I wanted to touch a few points. Shapiro keeps hitting the news with that $5 million throw out to a few people. If you're going to fund some SNAP programs, there was another state down south. They funded, I don't know where they got their money. Maybe it was from their rainy day fund, but they funded their SNAP program 100%. So that we don't have the money here to do it is a problem. And I did another thing. I did look up. I wanted to see. You keep talking about the Democratic Party being the working class party, and
No. I said they used to be. They're not.
Yeah, they used to be. Well, I looked it up, and you're right. It's looking like 73% of the Democratic Party, if I'm not mistaken. I got into an article and they cut me off of it. It looked like they are the, what do they call them? Well-to-do, and there was another term they used, very well off. And then the rest of the party, if you were at that lower number, you're going to stay there for the rest of your life. It was like, what happened to them? It's like, so whatever information that's coming out to help the poor at this point in time, coming out from the extremely wealthy on that side of the party, which I was kind of surprised. I didn't really, and I kind of paid attention to it from on the street, like a lot of my customers that were that had a little bit more money were Democrats, and it started back in, this went back for a while. It went back under, I think, McCain. Started flipping under McCain. McCain was the high end for the rich, and then it flipped after that when he ran. So it's been a while. But like I said, I couldn't read the whole article. They cut me out of it. I guess you got to pay for it online. But like I said, we'll see what the president has to say. I'm sure if he does come up with a solution, whatever it is, the Democrats will fight you the whole way. And another thing real quick, every generation has its problems. I mean, the guy that calls in about Nixon wasn't a problem. Nixon may have gave him the key, but how many Democratic presidents could have changed this for China coming in here? It's just off the chart. Mine was Clinton. I know you like him, but NAFTA destroyed this country, and we're still trying to figure it out from that. But and then, like I said, you have your people with their Vietnam problems. But you know what? Fentanyl was my problem in my era. So it's like you have these problems, but they have to be solved. This guy's doing it. He's at least making an attempt. And to sit there and say he's making money on the side, he's not even taking a paycheck at this point. If he's making money, it's stocks that he had before. That's on him. There's nothing else I can say about that.
Anything else? You good?
Nah, I'm pretty good. Like I said, I just got in here.
All right, man. Well, listen, have a great day and enjoy your week. Let's get up to Mount Washington and say hi to Teddy. Hey, Teddy, good morning.
What's going on, Rob?
It's a Sunday morning. I'm raring to go. How about you?
Oh, man, I'm ready to go. I think the Steelers going to lose. Just
Oh,
let you know.
yeah, it's going to be. I'm going to
It's
pick
gonna
him.
be rough, man.
Look, I'm going to tell everybody right now who tunes into Coons Market and the Black and Gold Sunday Show. I've never gone against the Steelers, and maybe a few times, but it won't be today. But they're going to have a really tough time. You know, they've given up back-to-back 30-plus points in the last two. So, and this is the best team in the National Football League. So, and they've got a running back by the name of Jonathan Taylor. It's going to get scary today, I think.
Oh, yeah. It could be over real quick. I just don't see them winning. I think they're going to do the 5 games in a row thing like they did last year.
Well, hopefully they'll figure it out. Go ahead.
Yeah, but real quick, I agree with you. I like to thank the first responders. Look, I live in Pittsburgh, Rob, and I'm telling you, this is what scares me. They're supposed to have this draft. They're supposed to be could be over a million people. We don't have the infrastructure. And things are so, broken in Pittsburgh, they can't fix anything. And you talk about the first responders, police, and firemen, they have outdated equipment, okay, flat out. For some reason, we have not maintained the equipment what we need. And I'm worried that we're going to have people here, they're going to get stuck in traffic, going to get stuck on the incline, going to get stuck in tunnels, and it's going to make us look like a laughing stock. We're just not prepared for this event. I don't care what anybody says. You look at it, the city's just not prepared. It's I hate to say it's a joke.
Listen, it's amazing that they've been able to do with what they've been able to do with the resources. I don't know how they're still up and running, to be quite honest with you. And whoever the next mayor is, you know what? It's going to be 24/7 just to try to keep it going.
Oh my goodness! You talking about duct tape in chicken wire, man? Okay, that's what you're talking about. Whoever's the next mayor, I think it's going to be O'Connor. Whoever's the next mayor, it's going to be duct tape and chicken wire. There's no unity with the business community, with even with just the community. They're not preparing people for this at all, and they're not reaching out for help. They're like, for some reason, they just think this is going to go off without a hitch. I just don't see it at all. And there's no plan, absolutely no plan for small businesses where they can benefit, where communities can benefit, where the city can really take in the revenue. I just don't see it. There's no leadership at all, even on the county level. They're, like I said before, they're clueless. But this, to me, is just a sign of where the city is. It's definitely going broken, like I think last call said, yes, they say about the pensions. You ain't seen nothing yet. It's more than just pensions. And I keep on telling you, we're going back to 47. With this bankruptcy,
I hope
the state's going to have to take control.
I hope not.
Well, look, I live here. I'm telling you, they can't even pick up trash on time. Can't do the roads.
So that you don't get
That's
your
the
trash
function
picked
of
up.
the city.
You don't get your trash picked up at the same time every week.
Sketchy.
Oh man. All right, yeah, that's not good. I mean, there are certain things that everybody has a schedule. There's timelines, and listen, trash pickup is one of the most important things we have. I don't care if it's the city where you live, where I live. It is essential. And when you think about what these people do just to remove all of that on a regular basis, and like clockwork, they're going to be there, they all deserve a round of applause. Literally, it is heavy lifting. All right, we're going to come back on the other side. So how do you think this thing really will go down? Will the president find a way to get people funded when it comes to food? I believe that this food story, the SNAP story, is really going to be the catalyst to the midterms, because you don't want to make it a political issue, but it already has become one. It already has become one. And I think whoever wins this battle is going to have success with the midterms. That's how big I think this thing is. 866-391-1020. 866-391-1020. Coming up, CBS Radio News. In just a couple of moments, David Ballarado with that first look at KDKA News in just about a half hour. Stay with us. Good morning.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com, because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, ETHOS, ethos.com/life.
When you call yourself the voice of Pittsburgh, you have to know when to not talk. Sometimes you just need to be the ears of Pittsburgh. Just listen. Listen to what you have to say. These are complicated and uncertain times. But when you need us, we are here for you. And we're listening. A trusted source that you can count on to be here. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
CBS News Brief. 10 people are hospitalized, none with life-threatening injuries after stabbing aboard a moving train north of London. This man described what he witnessed as he ran with others trying to escape the attack.
One guy's holding his stomach and there's blood coming down his stomach, down his leg, and he's just going, help, I've been stabbed.
2 suspects are under arrest. No known motive for the attack. Today is day 33 of the federal government shutdown. Aaron Merrick is with the National Air Traffic Controllers Association.
How long can you go without a paycheck? The system is already fragile enough, and then you add in the added stressors, and it's just frustrating, and we just need to end the shutdown.
Many air traffic controllers are calling in sick, exhausted by working 6 days a week without pay, some working second jobs. The LA Dodgers beat the Toronto Blue Jays 5-4 last night in Game 7 of the World Series.
Go Dodgers!
The Dodgers are the first team in a quarter century to win consecutive World Title Series. CBS News Brief. I'm Linda Kenyon.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Why should you hire America's largest injury law firm for your case? There's lots of reasons. Just like there's a reason millions of people called us last year in their time of need. When it comes to fighting for justice and compensation, millions of people across the country trust us to go to battle for them. We became the largest injury law firm in the world for a reason. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Did you miss this week's Allegheny Health Network Medical Frontiers? Log on to the Allegheny Health Network website to listen to your favorite Medical Frontier show. Visit ahn.org/Medical Frontiers podcast and look for your favorite Medical Frontier show.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Today brings a mix of clouds and sun, but a nice day to end the weekend with a high reaching 60. Then some clouds hang around for tonight with a low of 40, leading to a rather sunny day for tomorrow. Not bad, with a breeze building in the afternoon and a high of 57. Then sunshine for Tuesday with a high climbing to 59. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist LaTroy Thornton, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
All right, let's get through the weekend, and we'll be back at it on Monday. Trick or treat all weekend here. Eat a bunch of candy, and I'll catch you on Monday. Colin Dunlap, right here, KDKA.
You know, I got to tell you, that London story, I saw that as that was developing, and I intended to bring it up, but there were so many local things happening, I had to kind of go to that first. But, you know, let me just say this. The world's at a boiling point right now. Do you understand how many of these, like, attacks that have taken place? I mean, people just randomly stabbing people, shooting people, violent acts happening on a regular basis. And, you know, these mass shootings always seem to be, sadly, a part of the MO of the United States of America. And I never could figure out why it was happening more so here than in other parts of the country, I mean, other parts of the world. And then all of a sudden, it was like it just started to dominate the headlines, especially in places like France, Paris, and London, and in England. I started thinking resources starting to go without. People aren't getting the opportunity to have certain things as they once did. You know, the supply chain being cut. So you understand, when you start taking away from people and people start living in a very dark and dreary life, not because of the weather, but because of resources and crime the economy issues, and people can't start, affording to do the things that they need to do, not to enjoy life, but just to survive life. Then what happens, you get people that get honked off, and they, because of the mental illness problem that we have worldwide now, it festers. And then sadly, more violence is a part of our day-to-day life. I mean, do you realize how many stories like that London story that you and I have discussed in recent years? How many times I begin the weekends, or how many times during the week on my evening show, there's some headline that's either been trending or all of a sudden there's some breaking news of some other violent act. And there was a time that a lot of this stuff was really just in the United States, and you'd have some stuff in the Middle East because of the conflict that has been going on there for thousands and thousands of years. But for the most part, Europe, it was pretty much stable. And then all of a sudden, political outburst, the war in Ukraine, obviously China with the issues that they've had with other parts of some of the countries around them, like Taiwan. And now it just seems as though every day there's not just violence in the streets, like that London story, but you have issues with countries and threats. And this is the other thing that I didn't get a chance to mention yesterday, and I want to bring it up. We talked about the National Guard, the Navy Yards, and the nation's capital, breaking up what looked like a very unruly, a mob-like crowd, right? I don't know if you've seen that video, but it's amazing how there's no really men and women of law enforcement. There's no sirens. There's no that very familiar red and blue, twirling police light. There's just men and women in fatigues, National Guard, racing into this open field to basically serve and protect and return some sort of calm to a situation that could have gotten very ugly. I mean, there were hundreds of people involved in this. So another reason why the president has done what he's done with the National Guard. But the other story that really just, it amazes me because he went from this story to having a good conversation with the president of China, talking about creating a new deal that would benefit everyone. So the president said, I want to resume nuclear testing. Well, because there are other countries doing it now, and he feels as though that's a threat to our safety, and it is. So the thing that really boggled my mind, you've got Putin, who's been threatening the West just about every other day because of us helping out Ukraine. And every time the president tries to barter peace, he says he's willing, and then he does another drone attack or does something horrific to Ukraine, right? So you don't know where he's coming from. But he's never stopped nuclear testing. China has never stopped nuclear testing. One of the reasons that we sent those fighter jets and bombed Iran is because they too now are doing it on a regular basis. Kim Jong-un is doing it on a regular basis, right? I thought we were just naturally testing our nuclear weapons. And here, we're not. So what I'm saying, should the president have even said he wants to resume it? Because I got to believe I'm not the only one in the room who thought that we were already testing our nuclear weapons. And if I can say one thing about this president, I would have thought that he would have started that years ago. Not that he is a warmonger, but he understands the landscape. He's more involved with these foreign leaders than any president since maybe Richard Nixon. I mean, this guy has logged more air miles for the first 10 months that he's been in office than any president that I've ever known. I mean, he's been jet-setting across the world. I mean, he just came back from Asia. He's been to Ukraine. He's been to London. He's been to Paris. I mean, Latin America. It's unbelievable. And all of the people that he has brought to the White House, Prime Minister Carney and others, I mean, he just continues to negotiate deal after deal after deal. So when he said we need to resume testing for our nuclear weapons, I was just kind of like shocked. So I don't know if he should have kept that hand that he was dealt close to his chest, but he may have also did it because he always talks about peace through strength. So maybe he was just letting everybody know that, look, I know what you're doing. So just know that we are doing it too. But do you understand, like the London story and all the stories of war and what's going on and the president? Look, there's more. There's so much more than him just trying to drum up business and cut deals. Think about it. He goes to Japan. he goes to South Korea, and he talks about Toyota doing big deals. He talks about all sorts of things happening in this country, which is exciting, and it makes you really have optimism. But then you start realizing how he goes to South Korea. He's at Japan before that, and the next thing you know, he's got some sort of deal worked out with China. And now, after all of this time and everything that he has said negative about China and going to hit him with this and that and this and that, he gets this deal done, or at least in principle on a handshake. And now he says, guess what? I'm going to travel to China. He's actually going to go to China, and that will be unprecedented. It will be. But that ceasefire in the Middle East, last time I checked, they had a few speed bumps, sadly. Some people lost their lives. But now it's back on track again. And I can promise you, there's not a single listener right now who would have ever thought that this thing would have lasted more than 30 seconds. And it's still holding up. So somehow, some way, this guy is making it happen. So when you look around, it's kind of interesting to see what is going on. And I think what he did, he basically circled the wagons, and he did a little bookend thing, as I have mentioned before, by going to Japan, new prime minister, lots of enthusiasm and excitement, pomp and circumstance. And then he goes to South Korea, where he cuts all kinds of deals in which they're going to spend $350 billion, and we're going to be making submarines for them in this country. To me, that's astonishing, absolutely astonishing. So the art of the deal continues. Look, I'm going to get to Kathy, but I was waiting, doing a little monologue, little song and dance for this incredibly talented meteorologist, Mary Hours, first alert forecast, KDKA Television. So Mary got up today, and once again, a little frost on the windshield. So I guess it's safe to say November is here, and we are turning the bend, heading towards old man winter. Good morning.
Well, good morning. Yes, we are. We're near normal. So mid-50s, lows around 40. So pretty much all week, that's where we'll stay too. So yesterday I was able to get out, just kind of enjoy the day with some sunshine. It was dry. So I like this weather. I don't hate it. I'll hate it when it gets to 40 degrees for the high.
Yeah, me too. And the great thing about, yesterday, we finally got a little bit of sunshine. I was able to cut the grass, wash the car after I got off work. And that's nice to kind of get out. And it's still a very glorious time of year. But here's the question that everybody wants to know. Steelers are going to have a tough time today. This is the team with the best record in the NFL, and they've given up 30-plus points in their last two games. So hopefully at least the weather will cooperate, if not the team. How about the weather today?
It looks great, upper 50s and intervals of clouds and sunshine, so it'll be nice, especially even this morning if people are heading down to tailgate around 8 o'clock. We'll be into the low 40s, still sunny, mid-40s even. So then, through the afternoon it looks nice. Winds will be very light, too, which is comfortable, because you don't have wind just blowing everywhere like we've had really last week. It was so windy. And then the rest of the week, we're just right around 60 degrees to start off the week with mostly sunny skies. We don't see our next chance of rain until a little bit Wednesday night, but it doesn't look like a washout.
So one of the things that I like to do when I go on vacation, I like to look at the local news, and like in Florida or wherever, and see what they're doing as far as the weather is concerned. My question to you is, if you were in a place like San Diego, where it's 85 on a consistent basis and sunshine, or in Hawaii, would that be exciting to be a weather person in a place where the weather pretty much is the same 365 days a year?
Well, we've had definitely some weeks here where we're like, oh my gosh, this is San Diego weather, our 15-day dry streaks. But as a meteorologist, that is boring. You're like, oh, I need a little something to talk about. How am I supposed to talk about something? But me personally, I don't mind it all because it makes my job super easy. It makes me less stressful, less anxiety about tracking a storm. And I can I don't know, I feel like my mindset has changed from my 20s to my 30s, where I'm like, oh, I want to go chase a storm in my 20s. I want to do this. I want to go in a hurricane. Whereas now I'm like, I'm good snuggled up on the couch.
So in closing, I'm going to ask a question because you just said something that piqued my interest. So you really do take this stuff to heart. And when it goes in the wrong direction, which it can, that kind of bothers you a little bit, huh? You really want to make it right.
Oh yeah. We keep track of our temperatures. We make bets here at KDKA too, like with our temperatures and stuff. Like if I'm like, no, I think it's going to be like 80 degrees. I'm like, I think we're going to hit 80, and maybe like Ron's like, no, we're only going to get to like 77. I'm going to go with the GFS model on this one. I'm like, okay, well let's make a bet on it, and then whoever wins, we usually just buy each other a Snickers bar or something. And so we love to do that, like make it a competition, but it's super fun and friendly.
Absolutely. Listen, I know it's a long day for you. Early wake-up call. We appreciate your time. Make it a good week, and we'll do it again soon, okay?
Awesome. Sounds good. Have a good one.
All right, there she goes. Mary Hours, always working that script in there. Good stuff. All right, listen, take a short break. We'll come back, and when we do, Kathy in Imperial gets a chance to let us know what's on her mind. You too have a chance. We've got a couple of minutes left here in our final segment, first hour of Open Talk. We're here until 1 o'clock, so we got 7+ hours to go. 866-391-1020. It's your Pratt Pack. Good morning.
The KDKA Mobile News Fleet is driven by Jim Shorkey Kia, North Huntington and Wexford. JimShorkeyKia.com.
News Radio, KDKA, Sports.
Sports brought to you by Coons Market with 8 locations to serve you. A Pittsburgh tradition. Yashibu Yamamoto named the series MVP as he closed out the Blue Jays, but it was Will Smith who did this in the 11th to seal the deal.
Smith hits a high fly ball to deep left field. It's got a chance. It is gone. It's Will Smith in Game 7.
Joe Davis, Fox Sports on the call. The Panthers will enjoy a bye week, hopefully one that will get them healthy. But yesterday, the big story, it was the defense and the return of Kyle Lewis from a short absence from the team. After a shoulder injury, he comes up with 10 tackles. And when they return to action on November 15th, the Panthers, who have won 5 straight, will take on Notre Dame. Penn State took it on the chin to Ohio State yesterday, 38-14. WVU, a winner over Houston, 45-35. Robert Morris beat Stonehill, 20-17. And the Pens lost to Winnipeg 5-2. In volleyball today, the Pitt Panthers in action at 1:30 against North Carolina. Steelers take on the team with the best record in the NFL today, the 7-1 Colts. 1 o'clock kickoff at Acusure, and they are a 3.5-point underdog. More sports at 937thefan.com.
Calling all grades 9 through 12 students. Are you ready to think big, act bold, invest smart? Junior Achievement Stock Market Challenge presented by Citizens returns December 11th and 12th at Stage AE in Pittsburgh. Teams of 3 to 4 will compete head-to-head in a simulated stock market, making fast decisions, responding to real-world trends. No experience required. Win cash prizes, claim your trophy, and maybe represent Western Pennsylvania at the national level. Teachers, mentors, volunteers, your role matters too. Go to jawesternpa.org and secure your spot today.
Attention! Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-848-2299. 800-848-2299. Again, that's 800-848-2299.
Everything you need, every time you listen. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
All right, David Colorado coming up at 6 a.m. with the news, but right now she has been so patient, so take your time, Kathy, whatever is on your mind, and good morning.
Good morning, Rob. Well, I'm going to be on repeat today because the mayoral election is Tuesday, and that is at the top of my list to talk about, but I'm going to segue into that because I see a correlation between this election for the mayor and the condition of our larger government in this country, starting at the White House and down, okay? So I don't understand what the Democrats don't get. when it comes to what the American people are very loudly saying that they want. We want to have people that represent us, we the people, because this is our government, this is our country, and our country is set apart from the rest of the world because we were designed for the people to have their voice. It was put together by people who had lived under oppression in other countries that came here to establish a place where we the people have the final say. I do not understand what the Democratic Party doesn't get. This standoff with the food stamp thing and the SNAP benefits, they are once again saying, we hold the final, we hold the keys, we're going to keep the government shut down, big government rules in the end. They keep preaching the same thing by their actions. That what they don't understand is they are handing on a silver platter to Trump and everybody, all of his constituents, and us, the American people. They're handing on a silver platter a backdrop for, we're going to have a standoff because big government always has the final say. Big government can hold your food stamps from you. And what's happening is private citizens are showing up and donating money and showing that narrative. Guess what? Americans will pull together and we'll make it happen because we don't need you. And that's how it's supposed to be. We're not supposed to be waiting for Big Brother, Big Daddy to decide whether we'll eat, to decide whether that's not America. So they are literally handing to the narrative, they're handing, the perfect storm to prove that they want it to be maintained that we have to be beholden to the government, big government. And I don't know what they don't get. Okay, so, you see somebody like Timothy Mellon donating $130 million of his own dollars to fund the military salaries, on and on. You see somebody like Josh Shapiro coming up with a measly $5 million, which is going to take 10 days for people to even get. Giant Eagle, how embarrassing, $1 million. They have way more than that. I mean, neighbors are going to be feeding neighbors. And what it does is it builds momentum in the best kind of way that we need each other and that we can make it. Before we had any of this stuff, we were making it, So there's that. Now, when it comes to the mayoral race in the city of Pittsburgh, it is exactly the same thing. Corey O'Connor, and I keep saying this, but I'm going to say it one last time because it's my last chance, was already crowned the mayor, and that feeds right into that Democratic narrative where we the people don't have a say. There's an election coming up. Oh, if you want to be quaint and come out and vote and possibly get Tony Moreno in there, well, you go right ahead. But we already know Corey's that whole narrative. Now, I think Tony Moreno's chances are slim, but boy, would that be amazing for him to win. And even if he doesn't, I think what it'll do is it'll make the Republican Party or just any new agenda. I don't care what it is. We need change. You talk about crime, Rob, a lot, and how things trickle down from there. What better person than a former city of Pittsburgh police officer to fix our police department? What does Corey bring to the table to fix that problem? Not much. I don't think he definitely doesn't have the same expertise as Moreno for that. If Moreno just fixed that alone, that would be a huge for the city. I mean, this is going to be it's like trying to make a right-hand turn in a battleship. It doesn't just, you know what I mean? It's going to take time for the city to make big changes. But people, we have an opportunity Tuesday to make some change. I know that it's slim, very slim, but it still could happen. I'm hoping it does. And if it doesn't, people just need to organize and start to say, we need change here and wait for the next election. But that's what I got. This is how I see things. And if you are opposed to maintaining the integrity of the foundation of this country and how it got started, then you really need to check yourself. That's what I have to say. I mean, who doesn't want this to maintain being the free world? That's what I have to say.
All right. I always give people a chance to speak their mind. And yes, both candidates, very important. Those of you who live in the city, you got to make sure you've done your homework. All right, here's Rob in Plum to wrap up our first hour. Go ahead, Rob.
Hi, Rob. I got a new name for Trump, the global man. He is the only president I've known that's gone globally. And somebody the other day was talking about how Trump gave money to Argentina. He didn't give money to Argentina. It was called a credit swap. All countries do this, where you swap one currency for the other. Only thing is Trump went to the Treasury instead of to the federal government to get the money, and they agreed to the credit swap. But the city of Pittsburgh mayoral race, well, whatever you got right now, that's what you're going to get with Corey O'Connor. Nothing. And with Tony Morano, you have a chance. Now, you have a pension fund. He understands the pension fund, Tony Morano, which is going to cause everybody in Allegheny County to have a tax increase. Mike Dell was talking about it the other day where the pension fund is unsustainable. You know what I mean? In 5 years, this pension fund runs out for the city of Pittsburgh because there's no money for them to get. And if it runs out, you're going to have higher taxes all over the place. I mean, this is a call for the people of not only Pittsburgh but Allegheny County. I mean, please go out and vote and try and help one another. And I agree with the last caller, and she said we have to stick together. This is us. It's not big government. We have to donate to our family, friends, and to the people we don't know. You know what I mean? Give money out to help our neighbors out there. That's my motto for everything. But I think the global man, when we talk to Trump, because he's globally everywhere, all over the world now. I mean, China, Russia, India. I mean, Trump's going everywhere. And, you know, there's no slowing this man down at his age. I mean, he's going to be called the global man, you know. But I'll let you talk, Rob.
No, that's okay. Listen, I've said it before. The guy does not let any grass grow under his feet. He's out there promoting America and trying to get a better deal for America every day. And I'd love to see that as far as Pittsburgh is concerned. But I don't have any skin in the game. I can't vote. I can only tell you I have respect for both men. I know them. I think that both would be a good mayor. Obviously, Corey is the favorite. Anything is possible. But it comes down to you, the people of Pittsburgh. I have no say. All I can do is say they're both credible candidates. I've interviewed both. I've given them a lot of time on the air and on my social media platform for years. And I've known them forever. So you guys have to make the decision. I can only put out there what they have to say, and I've done it time and time again. And now it's up to you to make the decision because they're going to run the city that you call home, the city of neighborhoods. And I can tell you right now, whoever is the next mayor is going to have a lot of work to do, but hopefully it'll get done because even though we don't live, a lot of us in the city who love the city, it's still our city. We just can't vote in this election, but you can. So you better get out and vote. News coming up next.
The Big K Morning Show with Larry Richards.
No matter who you talk to, talk is about money. City Councilman Bob Charlin.
We're seeing that the spending plan that council approved and the mayor signed off on, last December, that the overtime specifically continues to be something that the administration is spending more than what was allotted.
Weekday mornings 5:30 to 10 on the Voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
Have you been told there is nothing that can be done for your neuropathy? Tri-State Neuropathy Centers is pleased to tell you that's not true. As one of the largest and most successful neuropathy treatment practices in the country, Tri-State Neuropathy Centers has grown to 9 regional centers and helped over 14,000 patients, like Bill from Mars. Bill's neuropathy got so bad he couldn't sleep due to the pain and was losing his balance, causing him to have frequent falls. Then Bill found Tri-State Neuropathy Centers. Their effective FDA-approved treatment program greatly improved Bill's neuropathy, and now he's sleeping through the night, can feel his feet again, and has no more pain. Listen to Bill's complete story at marydanston.com. Tri-State Neuropathy Centers help Bill along with thousands of others. Let them help you next. Call 724-940-9000. That's 724-940-9000. Tri-State Neuropathy Centers, the leader in treating peripheral neuropathy.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Medicare studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It's 38 degrees at 6 o'clock. I'm David Bollerado. Recovery efforts will begin this afternoon after one man remains unaccounted for following a two-alarm fire in Sheridan yesterday. The blaze had broken out early Saturday morning on the 700 block of Hillsborough Street. Patrolling police saw the flames shooting from the structure, which subsequently had a partial collapse as the third floor fell into the second. Police drones were unable to locate that missing man yesterday. The Mont Incline is also closed, and it will stay closed through at least Monday morning after 27 people had to be rescued from it when it suddenly stopped working Saturday afternoon. Pittsburgh Regional Transit says there were 5 people on the west car and 22 on the east when it stopped working just before 2:30 p.m. yesterday. Everyone was safely rescued from the two cars by 6 p.m. While no one was hurt, the cause of the outage remains under investigation. CEO Catherine Kellman issued a statement apologizing to the riders and thanking them for remaining calm. 2 people died in a multi-vehicle crash Saturday afternoon in Butler County. This happened in Buffalo Township around 3 p.m. Tim Derringer is the police chief there, and he tells KDKA what happened.
This afternoon at approximately 2:50, the officers were dispatched for a motor vehicle accident along South Pike Road, 356 at Yonkins Road. Upon arrival, it appeared that there were 3 vehicles involved. Upon further investigation, it was learned that there was a female deceased at the scene.
And a woman in another vehicle was also injured. 2 people in a third car were not hurt. Pittsburgh police are investigating a stabbing in Marshall Shadeland overnight. This happened on the 2600 block of California Avenue after a fight had broken out. The victim had been stabbed in the back and jaw and then taken to a local hospital in stable condition. Police say they're reviewing security footage and interviewing witnesses. Doctors in England are treating 9 railway passengers for life-threatening injuries after a mass stabbing on a train. Police have arrested 2 suspects, and the BBC's Barry Caffrey has more.
It was at 20 to 8 last night when emergency crews descended on the Cambridgeshire market town of Huntingdon, following reports of stabbings on board a train. A major incident was declared and armed officers were seen running along the platform. Witnesses on the train described seeing bloodied victims running to escape a man with a large knife. Counter-terrorism officers are supporting the police investigation.
As the government shutdown approaches the 5-week mark now, uncertainty regarding the fate of the SNAP food assistance program and air travel continues. CBS News' Willie James Inman has more.
Other nutritional and education safety net programs could also see funding lapses. Eve Del Real is the president of the Arizona Head Start Association, a federally funded early childhood program.
Families would have to rely then on unlicensed care or relying on family, friends, neighbors to be able to compensate for the loss of this service.
All of this comes as the government shutdown approaches the 5-week mark.
KDKA Sports, the World Series champs are crowned. Rob Pratt has this and a lot more coming up in KDKA Sports next. It's 6:03. The AccuWeather forecast is coming right up.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking. The list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's really scary and even deadly. Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Attention! Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-848-2299. 800-848-2299. Again, that's 800-848-2299.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Today brings a nice day with a blend of clouds and sunshine and a high of 60, leading to some clouds tonight and a low of 40. Expect more sunshine for the day tomorrow and a breeze developing for the afternoon with a high of 57. Then a sunny and rather nice day once again for Tuesday with a high of 59. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist LaTroy Thornton, 100.1 FM and